Hello, babies. It's the Even More Fabulous Mother Love with Mr. Kennedy here. We got some things on our mind that we would like to share with you and find out what's going on in the world and tell you what's going on in the world and in the world of craziness. Because we are
There's always craziness going on.
Oh, Lord.
Always.
Jeez. I mean, it's like you I wake up with a smile on my face. I wake up with a song in my heart. And I tell you, it's a beautiful day until some SOB does something that, just to laps it up. Just make it crazy.
Well,
so
the world is a crazy place.
It is really a crazy place. Speaking of something that's been on people's hearts for quite a number of years. Remember on the young lady, Natalie Holloway,
yes,
that was missing down there?
She went
in Aruba. We've been to
one of the nicest places on the planet.
And this child came up missing. And they kept, they were saying that this guy, Johan van der Sloot, had something to do with it. And, they never, ever said, what happened to her. Matter of fact, he was convicted of killing another woman in another place. And they had him already in prison.
Yes,
so
on that incident.
For this particular murder. So now his lawyers have said, he's expected to plead guilty with his involvement in an extortion case. He had an extortion plot connected to Natalie Holloway and what was going on with her and her disappearance. And her family's lawyer said the deal will require him to reveal how the Alabama team left the planet. In this agreement, it was conditioned upon Mr. van der Sloot revealing details of how Natalie died and how her body was disposed of.
I mean, but that's to bring closure for the family. But he's still victimizing the family again. But by even saying, well, and I want a lighter sentence in order for me to give you information about your daughter because I know what happened. Well, yeah, you know what happened because you was a part of what happened. Yeah, I mean, it's quite obvious that you do know what happened because you were a part of it. And you want everybody to think that they're crazy, not you. Mm-hmm. That I'm going to take your misery and add more misery upon you by saying, okay, I know you really like to know what really happened. But it's only on condition that you do give me some mercy. Not that you gave your daughter mercy. But now I want the mercy
and
now.
Disposed of her body. When you.
But it's still him victimizing the family again. And that's the sad part about this is that he's using their hurt, their pain, and saying, okay, well, I know you want to know what really happened to your daughter, the final outcome. So you may have a little bit of peace of mind. It will never bring your daughter back, but you will have a little more peace of mind. I'm going to use that against you to help me. And I'm going to
help himself. I'm going to extort you. I'm not going to say, okay, I'll tell you for $250,000. Okay,
well, that was the first plot that he was trying to do. Okay, yeah, everybody has an implication that I had something to do with her disappearance. Yes. Okay, but now I'm going to call you up and say, well, look, if you just give me a few $1 million.
No, he just asked for $250,000 at first.
Well, $250,000. Okay, maybe at that time that's, whatever reason he came up with that figure. The fact that he even would come up with it's taking advantage of somebody else's pain.
That he caused. And now you want him, and he
going to take advantage of them once again. Well, I mean, I wish there was another way out for them that they did not have to make this deal with him. Now that's what I truly wish. But they didn't have to make this deal.
Okay,
with
wait
him.
a minute.
But they may not have no choice.
Okay, wait. But I thought, because he was extradited back here to the United States.
Yes.
Okay, and so he said, okay, well, and I thought I thought you couldn't make a profit off of your crime.
Okay, but he's not American citizen. First of
all, he's
Dutch.
He's a Dutch citizen.
So then he's
the Dutch don't even.
whether they allow you a person to benefit from a crime that they committed or not. I don't know the Dutch rules on that. But the whole matter comes down to is that he's still hurting this family again, intentionally hurting them again. But by dangling this carrot in front of them,
You have to know where she is.
Then you have to do this for me. So I don't get any more time in jail. Probably I don't get any more charges against me. Maybe you let those charges be dropped, all in order for you to have some kind of peace of mind. Which is, I mean, it's wrong on his part on so many levels.
Oh, every level.
That he would do this to this family again and again. It's like, I don't care how much pain I'm inflicting upon you. I'm doing it because you want a peace of mind. You want to know what really happened to your daughter.
And I'll tell you for $250,000.
That's out the window now. Now is that okay? I'm using it to get time off, so I don't have to spend more time in prison. So he's not caring about what happened to their daughter at all. It's still all about him and how he can benefit. So how can he continue to benefit off of somebody that he know that he did something to? And that's wrong.
It's simply wrong on so many levels. And for him to say that with any kind of a face, and on top of this, they have been hurting. They have been in pain since 2005. This has been going on for since 2005, and you could sit up there and eat every day and go to sleep at night, and you know what you did to this woman, and you did this to a woman. You was in jail already for killing a woman in Peru. Now
but his father was women. His father
got him out.
Was looking out for him. You're victimizing somebody else. And then your father said, "Oh, okay, I know he victimized them, but that's my son. No, that's my son. So
right or wrong,
I'm gonna still try to protect him, even though I know what he did was wrong. He's my son, so I'm trying to help him. But you don't care about the pain that he's caused his other families. I don't even know how you sleep as the father, how you can sleep at night knowing that your son had done these horrible things to another human being, and sit back and say, I'm still going to try to protect
convicted
him.
Of one. He's in a jail in Peru, and they said it's one of the worst prisons in the world, and it still did not do anything for him to make him understand the depth of what his horror was.
That's what he's trying to get at. Wait a minute. He's trying to use what little bit
of leverage they extradited him back to the United States.
He's using whatever leverage he has left, because that was how to get out of the prison. And saying, okay, in Peru, by saying, okay, I'll plead guilty to the crime that I committed in the U.S. So you'll take me out of that prison, bring me here to the U.S. to charge me with the crime here in the United States. He's using the system so he could have a better life. Okay, he couldn't handle it in the prison down there in Peru. So you say, okay, well, I do have this other thing this other horrible thing that I've done.
I can tell you that I know about it. I'm not going to actually say I'm guilty of it.
Okay. I'm not crazy.
Okay, my bad.
Okay, you can say allegedly then, for legal purposes.
He allegedly had something to do with her disappearance and her body disposal. Now, he done told you that. I'm going to tell you. Okay, I could tell you what had happened, and then I could tell you what I had done with her body.
Only if it helps me. Only if it's going to benefit me. Yeah, I'll tell you, but it has to benefit me. I got me out of this horrible prison that I was in. And now I don't want to go back to that horrible prison.
So I'll go to a lily white prison in the United States, huh? So I'll tell you where your daughter is. I'll tell you where her remains are, so you can have some closure. And I need closure too. Okay, I know I'm going to be the rest of my life. I'm going to spend the rest of my life in prison, but I'd like to do it here in a much more humane way.
Prison. Into a better prison system. Maybe they should try to have the right to put him in the worst prison here in America. Okay, since he want to come to America and get off. There's some. Aren't all prisons? There are some worse than others.
What they call them, the club
fed. Okay, okay, but we're not talking about sending them to some easygoing prison.
So he won't be going to the prison like where Martha Stewart went, or
no. I mean, you won't want him to go to that. I mean, why would you want him to have an even easier of a life when he's taking a life? When he's taking a life, and now he's admitted he's been convicted of one.
Mm-hmm.
Now
in another country,
and he's also a
implicated
suspect in this one, and more than likely More than likely, he had involvement. We know he had some kind of involvement because he can't give you the details if he had some kind of involvement. Allegedly, we don't know what involvement yet because that's the period that he's trying to hold over the family. I mean, honestly, I wish that they could say, okay, we agree to your terms, and then once they do it, tell them we lied. You go into jail anyway. Now, to me, that would be poetic justice if you could have it. I agree to tell me what happened, but then I'll tell you after you told me I lied to you.
Mhm.
You go into the worst prison I can find.
And
But
it's just,
I mean, it's just wrong to hurt somebody again and again. Simply
okay, well
because
now
you
they,
can.
they had said,
Simply because you can.
and that's horrible. And I don't know. Well, that's why they call them sociopaths and
In the first place.
narcissistic, and because they don't see where they've done anything wrong. And even if they did anything wrong, well, let me try to make this work for me. Okay, yeah, I know what had happened to her. And I'll tell you that.
Only if it's going to benefit me. It's not because he's telling him because he feel remorse. It wasn't because he was said, "Oh, my heart is so heavy now. Oh, that I really want to get this off my chest. I can't live with the horror that I know that happened."
I think after day one, after this is just me. So after he's done something horrific, and I always have thought that he had something to do with her disappearance. And now that he comes up and says 20 something years later, oh well, I'll tell you. But I don't want to go to do any more jail time. And so they are saying that they were supposed to, he had long been considered a suspect in her slaying, and then a federal grand jury indicted him in 2010 on 2 counts of wire fraud and extortion.
Yeah.
So we're now in 2023. So this has been 13 years. He's been trying to exploit money from them and
we know he tried it back then, 13 years ago.
Right.
I mean, he has been charged with the crime because they said, okay, we can trace it back, and we know that you did this. Mm-hmm. You tried to extort money out of them. You were trying to benefit from their pain and suffering, and say
that you called that. Well, I'll tell you if I called it, but I want $250,000.
Did it help ease my pain? Okay, that's why I said, I mean, important, if you could have any kind of justice, it would be, we agree to all this, you finally tell the truth, finally, and then we tell you we lied to you, and send you away as long as we can. I mean, it probably won't happen that way. I mean, but to me, that would be the poetic justice that he deserves for what he did to these 2 different women. That we know of. These are the 2 that we honestly know of.
And that part right there.
Because sometimes when you are somebody like that, and you have a parent that has wealth, and they keep excusing you, what you're doing, and saying, okay,
that's my boy. I got to save my boy. I still want to save him. Okay, but what kind of father are you? That that this is the child that you have raised into this sociopath, into this murderer, that you did that. I mean, kids come with a clean slate. I don't buy that. They were born a bad seed.
Well, they couldn't. Now, wait a minute.
I don't buy that.
Things as bad seed.
Okay, but not as a baby. No.
Okay, wait a minute. You can't do anything as a baby. No, you can still be a bad seed as a baby. You can't do no bad seed or not. You depend on somebody else feeding you.
Right.
They're taking care of you until you grow up.
And that's you.
But
that's you as a parent.
Okay, wait a minute. But if you're still a bad seed, you're still a bad seed. The fact that
how does a baby who can't do anything, they're depending on, they don't even know that they're depending on somebody else. Okay, so when do the bad habits? When do the father starts putting in these negative vibes into this child? The child wasn't born with that. Kids ain't born to hate. Kids ain't born with racism. Kids are born pure and unadulterated, and we poison them.
Okay, hold on. That is not the case for all human beings. Unfortunately, it's not. So some people have mental problems, and just because they were born does not mean they will not have mental problems. Now you can't sit back and say, okay, everybody was perfect, and then
there you go with that word. We're not working for perfection. We're striving for excellence.
Striving and achieving it is 2 different things. Striving it and achieving it is 2 different things. The fact that if you're mentally disturbed, that has nothing to do with somebody else. Your mind will happen to be disturbed. Hopefully your parents or your teachers, somebody else may catch it and keep you from going down a dark path. But the fact to say that nobody could be mentally disturbed when they were first born, yes, some of us are.
Well,
I mean, everybody have different degrees, so it's not all just one. Everybody just perfect because if everybody
okay, well,
perfect,
okay, okay. See, and you worry me every time you
okay.
say that perfect, because there's no perfection in any human being. I mean, if you just go by the scripture, just saying, and you believe in the book of Genesis, and God put Adam, created Adam from the dust, and he put him to sleep and created Eve, and then they had to. I'm still trying to figure out who is they. Never mind about that part. Okay, and one brother.
If 6 degrees separation.
Oh,
so there's going to be a little retardation in there some kind of way because the 6 degrees of separation.
Well, that doesn't make you retarded.
Okay, 6 degrees of separation means that some people will not develop as well as others. Wait a minute, majority of us are decent people. The majority of us are
decent. More of us are decent people than
they're not. So to say, well, then there can't be any people who are not.
I just don't
there
think.
Are though. Wait a minute. Reality is that there are, because if that was not the case, you wouldn't have all the atrocities that are happening around the world, even to this day. That the atrocities that happened in the past. It's not so that people have not mistreated one another
since the beginning of time.
So to say everybody is perfect, no, we're not. We're trying to be better. We're working to be better. Wait a minute, but we're not. I mean, we will be having wars now if everybody was just Gentile and everybody cared about.
If everybody just learn to get along.
Okay, I mean,
why can't we all get along? Because we don't like each other.
Okay, because wait a minute.
And we don't like ourselves. We want to nitpick at somebody else. We want to say, "Oh, well, you're this. You're too tall. You're too short. You're too fat. You're too thin. You don't know enough stuff. You don't have any money. You're a poor pauper, and so I don't have to even be in the same class with you."
So once again, it says that women. It says that we're individuals. Women, I'm saying that we are individuals. Everybody's not the same. So to say that there can't be, I mean, if you happen to be somebody who end up growing up, as you're growing up and you're watching horror movies and you're watching stuff that start changing how you think and how you look at things. Bad things happen to your family. Maybe that makes you start thinking this way. You don't have to start off that way.
Mm-hmm.
If you ended up that way, it's because of the things that are happening around you. I mean, everybody does not start off saying that, okay, I'm just looking to be evil. But things may happen in their life to them, around them. So
that goes back to hurting people, hurting people,
hurt others.
Well,
that does happen. Women, that's part of reality. I mean, that's why they've always said, they've been saying for decades now about corporal punishment. All it does is just increase more corporal punishment. Okay, I can't get you back, mama, because you beat me. But then when I go out there, I beat up little Johnny next door because I can't beat mama up, but I can go beat up little Johnny next door. Or I can go beat up somebody else because I can't do it to you as the adult.
Where does that hatred, that animosity is what you've been shown, is what you see?
So it becomes a learned habit. Wait a minute. If you wait a minute, just for instance,
that first of all,
if you grow up in extreme poverty and your parents are doing everything to rob Peter and pay Paul just for y'all to survive as a family, and you watch this and you say, well, why do my family have to struggle? Okay, and you can build up animosity because we have feelings. Women, we all have feelings.
Okay, but
whether they're on the surface or whether they're down, but we all have feelings. You can end up disliking people. Say, well, why this group picked on me? Why was this group picking on that person?
So you're saying being bullied or being a bully is innately in people?
And some people it is, yes. Okay. Once again, if everybody was docile, then we wouldn't have bullies. Because if everybody was docile, even though somebody might do something bad to you, you would just move on.
Turn the other cheek.
And move on. But with the fact that we all don't do that. I mean, that's not part of reality.
So
it's not. Unfortunately, it's not.
See, and I just don't buy that.
Okay,
I don't buy that children are born, with evil in them. And if that's women, I just thought about this.
Think about that.
I just thought about that.
Okay, think about
women. Okay, I'm a woman and I'm pregnant, and I'm not only just pregnant, I am a drug addict.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing to my body is affecting the gestation and the normalization of
And
this.
so
this
maybe they don't
big-
come out. So they come out
right,
not
drug
right.
addicted. I
And-
mean, and they, you know, I mean,
So
I've seen
they
kids.
say that.
Wait a
So then you're saying that it can't happen. Wait a minute.
It
Now you
does,
saying that it can't happen.
but the mother,
But you said it can happen, though, right?
Yeah, but the mother does that. That's not the baby.
Okay,
The baby is not
okay,
out there
so-
smoking crack or
Okay, and
vaping
once
or
again,
sticking
once
a
again,
needle in
though,
their
but-
arm. They ain't even out here yet.
But you also you take into consideration no matter how she got into doing those drugs. I mean, it could have been an innocent thing that went bad. Wait a minute.
Wait a
Wait
minute. There's innocent drugs. Wait a minute. Okay, so
allow
you
me
put,
to explain.
Okay,
Allow me to
okay,
explain.
yeah, go ahead.
Allow me to explain. I think 90% of people who start doing drugs, 90% of them, I just use that number, start off thinking it's going to be harmless. That is no big deal. I mean, even people who drink alcohol, whether you consider that a drug or not.
Well,
okay, wait. Whether you consider it a drug or not, because it's legal to drink.
Right.
You don't look. You don't.
And they made it illegal to smoke marijuana too now.
They're starting to make it legal. But the point that I'm making is this: you can start off thinking that it would not do you bad. I mean, how many people have cirrhosis of the liver from drinking too much? Have other ailments from over drinking? But it's not looked at as we tell you can go to AAA. You can
no, that's AAA. You're
Okay.
talking about Alcoholics Anonymous. 2A.
to try to recover from doing too much because everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't start off thinking that, hey, I'm going to turn into an alcoholic. That I'm going to this is where my life is going to take me.
Right.
90% of the people I'm saying that a lot of them who start off doing other drugs do not think that
Right.
it's going to take them to the deep end.
It's going to affect them
to that degree.
They had a commercial on about drug addiction and how they had a young girl on there. She said, I want to grow up and be a ballerina. And they show her, and she turned into a crackhead. They showed
was
her
that intentional?
No.
Okay, that's all I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm saying.
It was not intentional.
But they still do it anyway.
I mean, we're human beings.
It's like a new thing.
No, we are human beings.
Okay, that means that we're prone to be drug addicts and rapists and bullies.
Wait a minute. We're prone to be vulnerable to things that influence us in our lives, to us and around us, things that influence us. You didn't start off wanting to be that way.
So you really can't really think for ourselves and make a logical decision.
You are thinking for yourself. Wait a minute.
Okay, you decided, today I think I'm going to start doing crack.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to wake up and I'm going to drink a fifth of Jack Daniels.
Yes, I say yes to you because not one of them thought that it was going to go that far.
That they would become
addicted to it. So to say, they woke up, they said, okay, look, I'm partying with my friends. Okay, maybe my friends could party like that and never get too far gone. Okay, my body, my system could not handle it the same way their body could handle it.
And I agree with that.
So I went into this innocently thinking that, I'm hanging out with my friends, we're doing this, and nothing bad is going to happen because I'm looking at my friends. They got a lot more tolerance to this than I do.
So how do you get to that place where it's all right for you to kill somebody kill something? No, I'm just in back to Vandersloot. Right, getting back to him. He's a college kid. He's down there having a good time or think he's having a good time, and he decided to do whatever he decided to do.
Because that was in his mind.
Right.
That was in his mind though. Not everybody's mind. His mind though. He thought maybe.
I'm gonna call my dad. Dad, I think I killed another one.
After that happened, allegedly. After that happened, what I'm saying is just like the young man up in Utah who went
on a killing spree
because he said, I'm writing my thesis,
and I want to know
what it was actually like
to kill another person.
Once again, you can't say what's in everybody else's mind because if you could, then we would all be robots, but we're not.
That's what they're going to now.
We're
with
generally
this artificial
followers.
intelligence. That's why we on strike now with SAG-AFTRA because of the artificial intelligence situation.
But as a society, I mentioned this before. As a society, if we said, okay, we're not going to watch any more reruns until the strike is settled, the strike will end tomorrow. Probably in today. If the studios saw everybody turn their TVs off and stop watching anything that was a rerun, the studios would settle immediately. they're having their cake and eat it too, because you're watching reruns
Mhm.
every single day. So where does they in there?
Well, that's why they've created a lot of these game shows now, because they're not considered scripted. They're not considered written, but somebody's got to write that, that opening, that closing, that
So
segue.
you're still taking advantage. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I said how we could help the strikers. If we start watching reruns, then the studio would say, okay, we want to settle this so we can move on. We don't want to suffer any more losses. Wait a minute.
And it seems like they just really don't care.
They do care. Wait a minute. To say they don't care would be you're not having this strike because you don't care.
No,
you're having it because
we are being treated unfairly. They're making all this money off of these TV shows, and anything that's got to be written, and they, part of the industry went back to work, like the late night shows and the game shows.
Because the writers strike
that was right. I mean, that's the WGA. That's the Writers Guild of America. Right. We're in SAG-AFTRA. And that's the Screen, but it's still the Screen Actors Guild.
Okay, so once again, the studio said, "Look, we know what we know how far we wanted to go with this. So it's not like they don't think ahead about any of this. That's why you plan on."
They didn't think it was going to go this long. I mean, for one of because it got out that some of the studio heads said that, okay, we could wait them out. That means when they start, having to pay, they going behind on their rent, their house, no, they can't hire them.
Waiting them out.
They waited them out, and
isn't that waiting them out?
They said they will wait them out because we would start, losing our houses, and kids going to daycare, and and private schools and what have you. And they said, well, we got more money than the union people do, and so that we'll just wait them out.
I mean, maybe.
And so, I mean, we got to work together. I mean, this is not I'm just going to do everything. I mean, I have never been in what I would say, even hosting a show, being part of a show. It's a collaborative.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative.
Yeah.
I used to tell our kids all the time. They was grown people. You guys don't work for me. We work together. This is my job is this, your job is this.
Okay.
And so together cohesively, we can create this good product.
Yes.
Okay. So we all have to work together, and it starts falling apart when you go, oh, well, it's my show and I'm the director and I'm the producer.
Well,
I can say whatever.
It's not part of human nature. Women. It's why you talk about AI now, on how women, they're not just only telling you that AI will help write TV shows and movies and everything else, but they're also telling you how it would take thousands and thousands of other jobs away. I mean, it's just like now when you call in for any kind of services, most of the time you get a computer that you start talking to first.
Is that correct?
You don't get a live agent. You don't get a live agent. You get a computer that starts talking to you, and that computer can take you through whatever stuff that's needed to, so you don't have to get to a live person.
Let me tell you, which does not always work. That AI has a lot of glitches in it, and they say they have it in different languages and what have you. I know that. I know that. Okay. I speak, pretty fluent English, and oftentimes,
okay, I didn't say anything.
It doesn't understand what you're saying. Okay, like and they're putting words into it. Okay, like I'm trying to. Trying to is not TRYNNA, and they'll put it in there, and trying to means it's I'm trying to. I'm trying to. Now I'm trying to. And these.
Well, once again,
they made ain't a word.
Wait a minute, it's evolving. Yeah. But the point that I'm making is that they're telling you already for the future, AI will be doing more and more jobs, and as AI do more and more jobs, people will lose their jobs. More and more people will lose their jobs.
I thought they were going to retrain them, like they're going to retrain workers to work in the greens and in the Green New Deal.
Okay.
That we're going to be moving jobs from because when we were growing up, we were an industrial country. Everybody could get a job at the car dealer. I mean, on the Ford assembly line.
Not everybody.
No, well, not everybody. Okay, he worked on an assembly line in the summer.
I said not everybody.
Okay.
No, I said not
but
everybody.
You worked for your summer job. You worked at a car dealer.
I did.
Not the car dealership. You were working on.
I worked for Ford.
Yeah,
Ford Motor Company. Yes, but
and he worked and got paid every week.
As things has evolved, it's just like how banks keep getting bigger. When they get bigger and they buy up another smaller bank, a lot of those people who worked at those smaller banks lost their jobs. Okay, and they said, "Don't worry about it. They'll find a job someplace else." It's easy to tell you you'll find another job someplace else.
You know, and I don't like the new banking
saying
system.
the reality is that most of you want that's put more and more people out
of work.
Despair.
Right.
I mean, we have thousands.
Are we
thousands
out?
of people.
Are we out teching ourselves? As a workforce that we're going to start completely depending on me. I was just looking at it. I was looking at the commercial the other day about the BMW, not the black man working the Bavaria Motor Works company, and they have an all electric BMW.
All companies.
They're starting to do that, and so they're phasing out fossil fuel and gasoline.
Well, because
and then they're going into the.
We're trying to save the planet.
Well, yeah, okay, right. Some of us are working to save the planet. Some of us are trying to save the planet.
Wait a minute. One thing, as we progress.
But who is it progressing for? I mean, you say all these automated job positions are going to put people out of work. Then what do we do? Okay. Somebody has got to program those computers.
Okay, well,
somebody's got to put that.
Everybody won't be a programmer.
So who's going to clean up behind the computers? They don't make waste. The batteries don't run out.
Okay, so you hire people that recycle the batteries. You know, they do have companies now that already been that have sprung up that recycle used batteries and worn out batteries, because that became another industry. I mean, as some things change, other things also change. But
like they're instead of them having an assembly line for the cars, now they have an assembly line and lines for building the battery.
But they still got to go into a car. So the car's still being built. Right. It's just been built a different way now.
Right. And it's running a different way.
But it's still a car, because it still has 4 wheels. It still gets you from here to there. Instead of you putting gas in it, now you're plugging it up.
Plug it up. So
and charging and recharging the battery. Continue to go further.
Don't we need to, as a country, don't we need to make sure that there's enough battery stations for these cars to operate in? And that's going to replace the gas stations, right?
That is what we're working on.
Go to get a battery.
But that is what we're working on. That will take time, though. I mean, but you have to start somewhere.
Okay,
you have to
start. I get that.
You have to start.
I get that, okay, but I don't think that progress all the time. They say, "Ooh, we could do this." Ooh, just like the Wright brothers said, "What if we could just make something and make it go fly in the air? How about that?" Because in Ohio, we kind of crazy. But the Wright brothers were from Ohio, and they said we can make this fly. We can make an airplane. We can make a helicopter. That's absolutely. I get that.
It made the world smaller. It made the world smaller because you could get from point A to point B faster, a lot sooner than traveling across the land in a car, by horse, by buggy, by train. You could actually fly from one destination to another. So progress is always being made. It's how you
where we're getting there from the progress.
But it's progress to keep the planet going, because if we keep just doing fossil fuels, we're killing ourselves, but saying, okay, well, it's okay though, because I can still drive my car.
And I can get rich off of this. I don't want you to get rid of petroleum because I'm making so much money.
But then you let them be part of the electric power system. It's a part called give and take. Okay, it's easy to say, I want to put you out of business because I started my own creation. Mm-hmm. But if we stop trying to just put everybody else out of business.
That's the part that I don't understand. Okay, you want to have all this power, you want to have all this control, you want to keep your foot on people's necks. Okay, what would make you think that these people we won't get tired of your foot being on our neck and we just start standing up and saying, this is not right. Okay. You don't get to continue to pollute the earth. It's like Herschel Walker said, we got good air and we got bad air. And then we're going to get the two airs together and we just going to have the good air. That stupidity does not work.
But
it doesn't work.
Part of progress.
We're destroying our own planet. That's like saying, okay, my house is full of paper, but I'm just going to go in there and light a cigarette and just throw the match. Okay, so what it goes.
So once again, so why are we getting away from fossil fuels? It's to keep from destroying the planet. I mean,
some people, they see that.
Okay, it's for all people.
It is.
Whether everybody is on board right at the beginning or not. I mean, you don't invent something today and say, okay, everybody's going to change. I mean, even forgive me, the cell phone. When it first started out, women, when it first started out,
it was like a big giant phone like this mini big.
and
It was like,
and a few people had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only the rich people had it.
And then they said, okay,
and then the bootleggers got it.
And then you said make it more affordable so more people can have it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you said, okay, make it even simpler so even more people. When it first started out, they was giving phones away,
right,
to get you involved.
That's like when we
became more involved.
That's like when we went to college. You know, I had never seen credit cards in our neighborhood. Okay. You know, from 55th and Scoville.
Okay.
And then when they got the tables out there, and
but a whole nother world did.
Another
world did see it, even though you hadn't seen it yet.
They said we can get them hooked in this. I mean, I remember when we first got together, you had 11 credit cards. I didn't even know there were that many credit cards to have. I mean, you had them for everybody from Macy's and a MasterCard and a Visa card. Well, that's before it was MasterCard.
Is it still MasterCard, Visa?
But it was
Discover Card, American Express. All these were.
And American Express is not a credit card. You could buy whatever you want. You just got to pay that bill
American
at the end of the month.
Have all kind of cards now.
They
have all kind. Just
like you can make payments.
Yes.
Like wait a minute.
On not on all their cards. So don't jump and think I'm saying that all American Express cards can have a monthly bill. No. Oh. No, I didn't say that.
Well, we had a platinum card.
And like they had the black card and the gold
card.
Oh
yeah, right. Oh.
Okay, for people who spend even more money.
Right.
So there's different degrees. There's not one size fit all.
Right.
And it will never be one size fit all because we have different
different classes.
We have different income that changes how things go, how things are. And the fact that the more we educate the masses, the better off.
See, and therein lies the problem because the higher ups don't want the masses to be educated. They don't want the masses to be able to ask questions and be able to discern, what is good for them and what is not for them. They want to sit there and say, "Oh no, we'll tell you what's good for you." Okay, you're a woman, you got a uterus. I'm a guy, I have a penis. I'm going to tell you what to do with your uterus. That's what we do because you're too emotional. So we're going to tell you what to think. We're going to tell you what to do. We're going to tell you where your kids can go to school, and we're going to tell you where you can live. And don't forget this one. We're going to, exploit you if you worship a different way than we do. Now, that's what you want to do because we said in our Constitution you could worship whoever you want, but we're going to make you feel uncomfortable. So.
And your point being what? That women, that we're not
my
human,
point
is that we are human beings, women.
We can do better. We can be better than what we are now. Okay, even if you not working on better, work on smarter. And we don't. It seems like we're getting stupider every single day. Every day.
That you have to stop and think about it. We're not getting stupid. No, more people are getting left behind because once again, you're left up to your own devices. Wait a minute. With the 60-some thousand people are homeless in the city of LA. Over 100,000 if you count the county of LA. Every last one of them people didn't choose just to be homeless. There's different reasons why there's 100,000 people are out there. There's not just one reason. It's easy to pick out one reason to try to make that fit everybody.
It doesn't fit everybody because we unfortunately have the working poor. These people get up every day, living on the street, trying to keep their family together and get up and go to work every day. And they are working their butts off and cannot afford to keep a roof over their head because the rent is so ridiculous.
But then once again,
getting into a place is so ridiculous.
If we treated one of the women, that come down to individuals treating people better. If you start putting your foot on somebody else's neck, then they go put their foot on somebody else's neck. That's what they tell you about.
The domino effect
of situations. And you want, as a society, we trying to change, we hope to change that domino effect. That we understand me hurting you actually really hurts me too.
As well.
In the long run. But whether I see it or not, or whether I say it won't happen to me to 100 years later, or to that means to my grandkids, maybe my great grandkid. But the fact that you're still hurting somebody else still means that you're hurting somebody.
even in the future.
You know, the fact that we don't, I tell you,
that's why there's generations of poverty, people that live in poverty.
Really?
You know,
well, there's generations of wealth, so there's
not right. It's generations
not just
of wealth. I mean, when you think about it, and wealthy people seem to be able to have situations slighted more to their.
Okay, but why wouldn't it though? Wait a minute. Because
it's not equal. It's not equal.
And
we're not equal.
You have to say that it's going to ever be equal. It's not. But one of the things that you
does it always come down to money? Access to the resources.
It comes down to whatever you choose to make a value. I talk to you all the time about if we talk people in school, morals and scruples, to talk people about right and wrong more as a class.
But who is it right for and who is it wrong for?
So once again, if you keep saying don't do it, then how will it ever get better? You have to try to get the majority of us to treat one another better. If you keep looking at the fringes and say, well, I can always find somebody out here on the outside that won't want to do that. Well, then will you help the majority of us, or you keep looking at the ones on the outside? If you help the majority, the majority means if you're teaching the majority of us about morals and scruples, right and wrong, the majority of us will do that. Versus you just looking at the ones that say, well, I don't have to follow that because I already got something. Or I don't have anything, so I don't care about treating people right because I'm on the bottom.
I can make sure that I'm around people or have people that are gonna be there as my safety net no matter what I do. Like Vandersloot's father, the guy that
he has money, right? He said, okay, I'm looking out for my son, regardless of what evil he may have done or did do. I'm still.
Well, he was convicted of one murder.
Okay,
and now he said to Natalie Holloway's family, "Okay, I
can inflict more pain on you."
And so, and is that seems like that seems to be all right with people.
Okay, but
with some people, not everybody, but with some people.
There you go. So once again, instead of saying that he's doing this, not all of us,
everybody's not doing that.
Said, try to teach the majority of us to be kinder and more gentle to one another. If you want a better outcome, you got to get the majority of us to do better. Then not keep looking at I can pick this one out and say, well, this one did that. So if to say the rest of us don't matter because I found this one over here who's a goofball, I'm going to focus on that goofball versus the majority of us that are trying to do better. If we really want things better, we focus on the majority of us doing better. Not always looking for that little lone wolf out there or this one over here. Yes,
or a group of them.
Okay.
That you can convince people, if you've got a way and a spirit about you, you can convince people to do your bidding, especially if you are not. You think about all the dictators that we have had throughout history, the dictators that want to be dictators, and that right now will be and will be in the future.
But once again, those are individuals, though. I said.
Okay, but it's like garbage in, garbage out, good in, good out. If you keep
is that everybody? Is that everybody?
I'm not talking about everybody. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about the women. What are they? Even in the news business, it used to be. I don't know what it is now, but they would say, "If it bleeds, it leads." We aren't gonna, give you the stories that are the most horrific. We rarely tell you about anything that's good that's going on in the world, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about our nightly news anchors. What they're doing is they're all tell us all these horrific stories and everything that's horrible going on, and then like the last 2 minutes they'll give you a good story that somebody did something good for another person.
Okay, so you prefer not to know the horrible thing, but you can watch shows that show horror and bad things happen to people on a daily basis, day in and day out. But then you say, but that 30 minutes, you need to know what's going on in the world.
Right.
So we can be ignorant about what's going on in the world.
No, I'm not saying that.
Wait a minute. Let me finish. If you say, wait a minute, the news just talk about giving bad information out. Okay, if we start saying, look, we want more good stories to come out, less of the bad things, that doesn't stop the bad things from happening.
Right.
And that's why I say,
and we do need to be informed.
Because you're not informed, worse things will happen. I mean, it's the reason.
Let me ask you this: do you think kids? I'm gonna say like 15 and we'll go from like 7 because when you're like 7 or 8 years old, you should be able to read pretty well and be able to sound out words.
Okay.
Do you think that it's a bad thing for these kids to see, and that's helping to shape their negative attitude about things.
Okay.
I mean, when we was growing up, I would have never, ever, ever, ever in my entire life of going to school would have ever even thought about school shootings, being murdered.
Different time.
I know.
Okay,
but
different times. Okay, different situations. That's why I keep saying, if you're teaching kindness, morals, scruples, instead of keep always saying it has to come from home. It's going to be taught at home, and if it doesn't come from home, then whatever happens just happens. Wait a minute. If we want a better outcome, we have to put a better income in to start with.
Right.
If you start teaching people about morals, scruples, respect, mutual
but see,
kindness,
where has that line blurred? Because it's like, you talk to these young people and it's like, well, it's all about me. I want this. I want that. I want him. I want her.
Well, then who taught that young person that?
Their parents.
Okay,
and
so,
the community.
So once again,
they saw this.
Once again.
So that's what I'm saying. Should they be watching the news?
Okay. Yes, we should, because we should be informed. It's like the news also tell you the weather. So I guess we should know about the weather. You should send your child out there unprepared for the elements that they're about to go into, because, if I look at the news, because 20 minutes of it is about bad things, 5 minutes is about the weather, 5 minutes is about sports, and the last minute is about something good. I don't think we should watch the news at all. So your child go out there dressed inappropriately for the weather they're about to face. So then when they get sick, who do you blame then? Or do you look in the mirror and say, wait a minute, if I had just took 5 minutes and looked at the weather and knew what the weather would be for the next 5 days, since my child is going to school for the next 5 days, so I could dress them appropriately, or I chose not to look at the news to find out what was going to happen.
Okay, but you can look outside.
And that's going to predict what the weather's going to be. Yeah. Every single, for the next 5 days, looking out the window one time is going to tell you what's going to happen in the next 5 days.
Every day you got to look out the window.
So I mean, you get up in the morning and say, okay, now I'm going to know.
We knew not to put on summer clothes in the wintertime. Because we knew, because it was cold outside.
Because you looked out the window. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So when
I see snow, that's a snowsuit.
So
I see rain, that's an umbrella.
So the weather never changed to it. Once the weather never changed to it.
We didn't have umbrellas. We didn't even get umbrellas. Okay. You had to you had to take your coat and put it over your head.
Because you know that the weather's changing? Oh, because the weather's...
Well, my grandmama knew what the weather was like.
When you get up in the morning, you know exactly
what
the weather's going to be.
That's it. My elbow hurt. It's getting ready to rain sometime. Oh, my right knee is hurting.
And that's how we should
get the
weather. Okay, so since the kid, since their knee or their ankle is not going to hurt, no matter what the weather changes, so they're going to know how to be prepared. Be based on their grandmother. So if the grandmother don't live with them, then what? Then what happens?
Okay, but when you're out here, wait a minute, let me ask you this. Even out here in California, where the weather is virtually pretty much all the same, when it rains, it's like a big deal. It rains and people watch the weather, and they still don't go out with an umbrella. You still see people walking around.
Why?
And they put
they don't look at the weather?
Obviously, they didn't.
Well,
that's the point.
But that's the point that I was making. That was the point. That was the point that I was making. Everybody doesn't have an elbow that aches when the weather is going to change.
Well, I can predict the weather. I can predict the weather.
If you're the only one who knew that the weather's going to change, how did that help everybody else?
They should.
I'm just asking, how did that help everybody else? If you knew that the weather was going to change, but nobody else did. So you knew that the weather was getting ready to change because your elbow started hurting. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if my elbow's not hurt, so how do I know that the weather's getting ready to change?
Because I'm going to tell you, baby, my elbow hurts.
Do you tell people next door? You tell people across the street, okay, my elbow's not there, so the weather's about to change.
I don't know if they're coming out the house or not. That's not my concern, whether they're coming out the house or not.
Here we go. That's why you have a weather report. So you're not concerned about telling them. That's why the weatherman.
I can't believe we're talking about the weatherman or the weather woman.
I'm just saying that there's not you looking for the extreme.
I'm not looking for the extreme.
Wait a minute. You said you're basing it on your elbow hurt. So if my elbow is not hurting, then what happens to me? My elbow wasn't hurt.
Hold up. Let's just get this correct. I just want y'all to really understand who this guy is.
And I'm just asking a question.
You have come to me on multiple occasions, even out here in California. You'll go, is your hip hurting? I said, yeah, my hip hurting. Well, I know it's going to rain because your hip hurting. You're walking funny. So I could predict the weather like that. It's like when my hand is itchy. I don't care if it's a check for $4.12. I got one of them.
I have a question.
Okay, my hand is itchy, and you'll say, "Your hand itching? Here's a check."
Okay, but now when you was talking about your elbow, you know, and I asked you what's your elbow hurt, a lot of times because I looked at the weather and they told me what was going to happen in the next 5 to 10 days, so I could come to you and say, "Wait a minute, is this report accurate?" Now I saw on TV that they said that.
Oh wait, but you won't listen to my
okay,
elbow.
Wait a minute. If you just let me finish out, I said I looked at the weather report. It said in the next 5 days, okay, the first 2 days of the week was going to be sunny, the next 2 was going to be cloudy, and the end of the week was going to be rain. So if I came to you and said, okay, is your elbow aching already? What's going to happen at the end of the week?
On Friday, yeah.
Wait a minute, is your elbow aching on Monday?
Yeah.
But what's going to happen on Friday?
Because I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
Okay, I rest my case.
You don't.
I rest my case.
Wait a minute, you can't.
If you don't, wait a minute.
What do you mean you rest your case? You can't rest your case.
On Monday, your elbow side hurt, but the weather that was going to happen on Friday. Okay.
Well,
you better than the weatherman. I mean, no, that's why they have the weather report, because they do predict. We've got far better. Before we can give you a week worth of weather, we only gave you a day or two in advance. Because we said that's all the knowledge we had. Wait a minute. So you telling me even when they were saying they could tell me 5 days, you could tell me 5 days.
I could tell you a month in advance. I'm like a human almanac. Okay. I beg to differ with you. Right. You don't even understand to this day the power that I have.
Yeah. And I got a bridge I'm going to sell you too. Get ready. I got a bridge I'm going to sell you. Mm-hmm. Since you can predict the weather for the whole month, then you just said you could predict it for the whole month. So your elbow already told you. So your elbow told you what's going to happen for the next 30 days.
I'm not.
That's amazing. Now see, we should be really making money off of that. Mm-hmm. If you could tell
Al Roker, I told him, and he went and got the job over there at NBC. That's what I come out and I just put it out there in the universe. And,
that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. You know, but we should have been
making money off
this a long time ago.
I could do something with that. Him and Vanna White got the best jobs like in the entire world. You don't have to do anything but stand behind or stand in front of a green screen and do the weather and predict it. And it's predicting. It's not like absolute. Okay, we're just predicting. It's a lot more,
so I lot more accurate now than
and Vanna, all she got to do is go. She used to have to twirl the letter. Now she just got to touch him.
Why? Because we
the
got
best job.
Things got better. Things got better. She has a great job. She has to work a little less. That's nice. She don't have to work as hard now. Instead of her flipping the letters, she has touch them and they light up. Oh, see, that's amazing. But she's still touching letters. So maybe she might have, her arm might end up being bad later on in life. All that reaching. She might have, she might end up.
I could go with letter turner elbow. I could go with a letter turner shoulder. I mean,
okay. What about
both of my rotator cuffs had gone out?
So that's what doctors are for. I mean, do we want doctors to be educated so they can help heal us?
They're still practicing. It's not absolute. The weather is not absolute. Even our thoughts are not absolute because they have
so then we should have doctors. Women. So women, because
I didn't
it's not
say
absolute.
We shouldn't have doctors.
Yes, and women. And
I didn't say that.
You said because they're practicing.
I said they're practicing. We want them to keep practicing.
So you're disregarding them because you're saying that they don't have it perfect.
No, there's no such. No, doctors practice medicine. Okay. It's not an absolute science.
So why do they practice medicine? Why do they practice?
Because they're looking for something. They want to make sure that they can make a difference. If they weren't practicing, we wouldn't have had the penicillin, the cure for
so it's good
syphilis.
So it's good that they practice.
Yeah, they're practicing every day. They learn something new.
It's good that they practice.
They learn something new.
The bottom line comes down: if they were not practicing, things would not be getting better for us. People would not be able to live longer if they was not practicing. The reason why they practice is so that we may live longer. That they can discover the ailments and help to work on them, so you may live longer. So you may have a better quality of life. That's because
I get that, but still, it's not an absolute science.
I never said it was absolute. I said it was.
They got to be perfect. No,
it was a good thing that they was willing to work on this.
Right.
Because if they did not, how would things get better? How would some of your ailments that you have ever be cured if they didn't practice?
Well, see, okay.
I mean, you want them cured. Wait a minute. Don't we want them cured? I think we all would love the day to come when they figure out how to cure cancer. I mean, I saw on the news they said that they have a pill now that they can put in your stomach
that can detect what kind of cancer.
No, help to cure, not detect, but help to cure, because it starts telling your cells what to do, what to look out for. So we are making progress. So that
I get that.
this
I
big killer,
understand that it still is not an absolute.
I never said it was absolute. So once again, we're looking at, okay, I'm looking at the negative part.
I'm not looking at anything
the
negative.
fact that they're practicing and getting better at it, it's a positive sign, a good sign that they're practicing and getting better. They're keeping people alive a lot longer. Versus saying, don't look, simply because you're practicing, I don't want to be involved. We have to be involved, but they also to get better. In order to get better, so how do you ever get better if you don't practice? You
got to practice.
That's any profession. You say practice.
That's how you get to Carnegie Hall.
And any other hall. If you want to play baseball, you want to play football, you want to be a better teacher. You practice by getting a better.
I get that.
Okay, so we all do it because that's the only way to get better.
But then
it's to get better.
Then they find a way to, in the diabetes community, in the cancer community, they always say, you got cancer of the brain, cancer of the eye, cancer. Wait a minute, and all of this, and from what I see, this is just from my own personal experience. The medical profession does not want to cure anything.
Maybe
because they're see, I don't buy that. You don't be practicing and don't get. Wait, hold up. You can't be practicing every day and saying you want to get to the next place, and you get to the next place and you go, oh, wait a minute, we can fix this. Oh, but we can't make any money at it. Diabetes in the diabetic community, people, those of us who are dealing with this chronic disease from juvenile diabetes, that we got to have a hospital, St. Jude's. I thank God for Danny Thomas and the fact that he makes sure, and he knew what he was doing. He said, we might not get it right, but I want to make sure that they don't have to worry about, paying for treatment for the kids who get sick. But there's no money in a cure for diabetes. Okay, there's no money in curing diabetes. Just me. Okay.
Excuse me. Wait a minute. Can I just say this? You said there's no money. Wait a minute.
There's no money in a cure for diabetes.
Hold on. You let me just say this?
Go ahead.
If I happened to be a pharmaceutical company that came up with the cure, I would have a lock on that. But at least for 17 and a half years, because it would be my patent that will be out there. Nobody else could copy my patent for the first 17 and a half years here in America. Wait a minute, here in America. Because they got other rules in other countries based on how you can do things. But to say that there's no money, it is money because
there's no money in a cure. When you can make $360
so once again,
$billion a year,
excuse me.
Why would you want to cure that? Okay. Why would you take away their money train? Why would they want their money train disrupted?
Can I ask you a question? So why are you leaving fossil fuels and going to electric cars? When they're making billions of dollars over here with the gas car, so we shouldn't go to electric and save the planet. You evolve. All this does evolve.
Okay, so if you know that there's a lot more people cure for diabetes,
and a lot more people live a lot. Wait a minute, a lot more people live a lot longer now, even with diabetes.
Because they're managing. The money is in the management.
Okay, so
the money is in the chemotherapy. The money is in the kidney dialysis.
So you don't do it. Wait a minute.
DaVita got a lock on the kidney dialysis.
Now I can tell you this though. It's just like Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk. It just said, okay, with their drug that they have out now, helps to cure even does it have more than just one effect. Besides working on your diabetes, which is one thing, it also now it has a chance to cure other ailments that you have as well.
Oh,
okay. Wait. It delays you. You go your kidneys failing because if you start taking Ozempic, it will delay your kidneys failing. So then you won't need DaVita because you won't DaVita because you won't be on dialysis. So wait a minute. So one is helping the other.
And look how much the Ozempic injections are.
Okay.
I mean, I'm on Ozempic, and I couldn't even get my medication for my diabetes for like 8 weeks because other doctors were prescribing it to people who didn't have diabetes so they could lose weight.
So therefore,
I mean, I lost 41 pounds, so it was looking like a skeleton. It was
so therefore, they shouldn't have the drug.
I'm not.
Or therefore, shouldn't we look at it and say, well, hey, wait a minute now. Here's the chance to wait a minute. Here's the
they
chance
already
to
know what they get when they introduce these new drugs and these new modalities to help you take care of a condition. You hear about something like for your psoriasis. You got this bad rash on you someplace, and it'll tell you that if you listen to them. there are at least 10 side effects. At least 10 side effects. At least 10 side effects. Uh, uh, for whatever the drug is. Okay, for my particular one,
All
they
right.
when they start rattling them off, there are like 21 different side effects. Because no, we're not all the same. Something could happen
Okay.
to you in this place, or it's just so many side effects. And what is it really doing? Is it helping us manage diabetes and creating more side effects? Now we have to deal with that. I mean, because I went through I don't know how many different diabetes drugs I went through.
Okay, but it's women. But
Till
as progress being made, because just like what may not work for you may work for
Right.
10,000 other people. So
Right.
they shouldn't get that because it didn't work for you, or because you may have one that it worked for you, but it didn't work for that 10,000.
Well,
because we're individuals. Is why
wait a minute,
we,
but you brought up earlier about we're 6 degrees of separation. So how come it wouldn't be?
Because your degree didn't work. It didn't work on your degree.
That's
why.
You said my degree don't work.
If there's 60, everybody is not identical.
100%.
Okay, well then, so what may work for you may not work for me, may not work for the person down the street, but may work for the person next door. So what work for you two shouldn't be the case because it doesn't work for me and somebody else.
That's why it's called practicing medicine.
And the better
it's
you practice,
not an absolute.
And the better you practice, the more people's lives are saved.
Well,
you want more lives saved?
I'm going
because we're practicing. Because they're practicing. Don't they end up saving more lives? You live a lot longer now with diabetes and with heart attacks and strokes and kidney failure than you ever did before because they continue to practice. Because they continue to practice, more people live longer.
And how are they living?
A lot of them are living a lot better. They don't get the application that they used to get.
Well,
because of that.
And then even if they come down with that, there are a lot of people who will say, "I'd rather die than have my leg cut off."
But that's their choice, though, right? They made that choice, not the community that was trying to prolong their life. They decided that they don't.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
That was their choice.
To prolonging their lives, and
because we all just prolong.
Well, this is another conversation for another day. Why they call it life insurance? You ain't assured to live forever. They should call it death insurance. What it is? When you die, somebody else gonna get the cut.
Maybe it wouldn't sell so good if they sold it that way. You ever thought about that reason why they didn't say it?
And that part, y'all. It's Mother Love and Mr. Kennedy. And just remember this. No matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love now and then. Peace, babies.
Peace.